Danny Sheehan talks alien abductions and a whole lot more. It's time for another UFO news roundup, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, let's see what Danny had to say on Unveiling the Universe. A great interview.
There's a fellow that has written an awful lot of books about this called Allies of Humanity. He is a person out in Boulder, Colorado, that writes about how we ought to be circumspect about what the agenda is of these other civilizations. Because there are a number of species, as we've talked about. There's at least 5 different species of extraterrestrial or conceivably extra-dimensional beings that we're talking about here. It may be that some of them are less of a problem than others, or some of them are more of a problem than others. But the bottom line is you get varying stories about this, but that they're abducting human beings and subjecting them to involuntary physical examinations, and especially the taking of female egg cells, human egg cells, or male sperm. That's something that people can be afraid of. You don't want to be subjected to that kind of involuntary activity. And so in that sense, there are some things that people would be legitimately concerned about here. And that what we want to do at the New Paradigm Institute is try to develop some set of protocols pursuant to which we can engage with the extraterrestrial beings and try to, if it hasn't been done yet, explain to them in more effective terms why they should not do that. If there needs to be some sort of a program set up where they could, if they want to have female egg cells, there are people that might be willing to donate them voluntarily. The same thing with the sperm, etc. If they want to do that, but there probably needs to be some sort of an official program that supervises that.
Hey, an amazing idea, working with the beings to have cooperative abductions or contact experiences. That is definitely a new approach. Now, of course, many contactees will say they have agreed to these abductions with pre-life contracts, that before they even came into this life, they knew this was going to happen and they had agreed to it, whether they consciously are aware of that now or not. Now, of course, it's hard to say if that's really the case or not, but that is certainly what many of them are saying. But it would be so nice to have a conscious acceptance of these experiences if they need to happen. Now, why do they need to happen? Should we be facilitating the beings in creating hybrids to come down here to Earth? Well, we don't know what their ultimate agenda is. Some people seem to believe that the beings seek to replace us, whether overtly or not overtly, whether they are just kind of waiting for us to wipe ourselves out and then to take over, or maybe they're going to steer us toward that apocalypse, or it could be some entirely peaceful motive. Well, I'd like to read a little excerpt from Christopher Noel's awesome book, UAPs and the Afterlife. The other day I discussed hypnotic regression by Barry Littleton, and the implications of that, if the beings are interested in our souls, which is something that you get a lot, or not a lot, but not infrequently in contact experiences. They do seem very interested in our souls and where we go when we die. And I was wondering in that video if that meant they didn't have access to those realms. Now, Christopher in this book makes the point, well, sometimes during contact experiences, they will take people to what seems to be those realms or something similar to that. So some of them seem to be able to get there, but some of them may not. Some of them may be relegated to a set of dimensions or vibrations or whatever, where they don't quite get there. And so Christopher has an amazing point that connects some dots here. So let me read this excerpt. He says, My guess is they're not after our extermination, world domination, or Earth's natural resources. Instead, they seek what makes us us. They ride here from outside the stream of time, as Whitley Strieber puts it. They pursue and connect with us in order to experience life vicariously, our particular species of hardy, knife-edge, eye-opening life. John Mack wrote, I hear in a number of cases that the alien beings envy our dense physical embodiment. They float around us in their shape-shifting ships and their stilted avatar bodies, citizens neither of pure spirit nor of panting animal spontaneity. Is this why we have been trying forever? Is this why they have been forever trying to merge with us? Strieber reports that most are automatons, as accurate and as fast as machines. Other witnesses have compared them to coldly efficient insects. You'll recall those who felt their abductors were taking them home to a place more real than real, and how this echoes NDE descriptions of the afterlife environment. It seems the meddling levitators do at least traffic in that same general vibrational neighborhood as our posthumous destination, so that when they take us away, we naturally receive the brief thrill of transcending Earth. Any reprieve from dense matter in linear time is going to register as freedom from bondage, as ultimate arrival. But is it? Abductees don't have actual death yet to compare it with. Strieber declares that every single soul will ascend in the end toward ecstasy. I doubt, Christopher says, this applies to them, though. I'm pretty sure they're caught in the middle between authentic Earth life and eternal afterlife. For some reason, they are consigned to a narrow band on either side of the visibility threshold, on a perpetual mission, patrolling for what they lack, panning not for gold, but for soul. If they enjoyed full latitude, all opportunity and grace, as a rising human spirits do, lighter and lighter, would they constantly boomerang back to those heavy lowlands, hounding us day after day, millennium after millennium, from Ezekiel to the USS Nimitz? The aliens are alienated. They can't get up to source, God, because they can't first get fully grounded down here. So yeah, let me repeat that, because I thought that was just really amazing, kind of a bombshell. They can't get up to source because they can't first get fully grounded down here. So could that be what the hybridization project is for? Is to get them grounded down here so that they can have access to those higher dimensions. Chris is connecting some dots here that I think is just brilliant. And I think that could be what we're looking at least in part. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Oh, and I will link to Chris's book in the links below. In other news, does dark matter exist? Well, maybe not. Maybe not. A new study, dark matter does not exist, and the universe is 27 billion years old. The fabric of the cosmos, as we currently understand it, comprises three primary components: normal matter, dark energy, and dark matter. However, new research is turning this established model on its head. A recent study conducted by the University of Ottawa presents compelling evidence that challenges the traditional model of the universe, suggesting that there may not be a place for dark matter within it. And I'll let you read the full article at your leisure. But yeah, they're saying a universe is 27 billion years old, and they have a new model of the shape of reality that does not include dark matter. Very interesting. In other news, not everybody is standing by the Arrow report. According to Liberation Times, top intelligence office unable to publicly support Pentagon's UFO report, despite oversight role. What? The Office of the Director of National Intelligence, ODNI, currently cannot publicly endorse a recently released Pentagon historical report on UAP. This is despite its joint oversight role over AARO, the entity responsible for drafting the report. The AARO is mandated to report directly to ODNI's Stacey Dixon, Principal Deputy Director of National Intelligence and Deputy Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks, on all operational and security issues. Eric Pahan, Public Affairs Advisor to Kathleen Hicks, confirmed to Liberation Times last night that she, Hicks, supports the findings and conclusions in the report, which dismisses any wrongdoing from the DoD, intelligence community, and defense contractors, and allegations of a cover-up and illegal activities involving UAP. In January 2024, Susan Goff told Liberation Times that Deputy Secretary Hicks and Principal Deputy Dixon met routinely on AARO and with other UAP stakeholders as necessary. However, despite repeated conversations with Liberation Times, neither the ODNI nor Stacey Dixon herself has been able to publicly endorse the findings and conclusions of the report. So there you go. The government is fighting over the AARO report. Some are sticking with it. Some are saying maybe not so fast. We refuse to endorse this pile of garbage. So I love it. I love it. At least there may be some pro-disclosure and pro-transparency people left in the government. Meanwhile, check this out. Those guys are good. Those guys are good. And if you don't know what those things are, because I didn't either, those are tetrapods, a concrete block designed to prevent erosion by dissipating wave energy along coastlines. Man, that's impressive. That's impressive. Meanwhile, I totally missed this in Neil deGrasse Tyson's interview with Kurt Jemongol a few months ago. He basically says that he wants the government to protect him from UFOs. So is he saying there are UFOs? Well, here he is talking about it.
I said we should spend money, find out what it is. I want to be safe from weird stuff in the skies. So go ahead. Yes, spend money.
Okay, there you go. Neil deGrasse Tyson is on board with UFOs, apparently. And he wants to be defended against them. Meanwhile, the Juan post interesting thoughts here from Rosalie's humanoid series about Bigfoot. Okay, let's talk about this just briefly. This is really interesting. He says, the Sasquatch NHI Prime Directive is explained telepathically by one of the beings. The encounter took place in January 2000 in Rostov-on-Don in Russia. Reportedly, the Fidiev family encountered a tall and hairy humanoid. The being was about 2 to 2.5 meters tall, with its whole body covered by dense dark fur. One of the witnesses, named Sasha Alexander Fidiev, apparently entered into telepathic communication with the being. And that's something you get occasionally in Bigfoot encounters, is telepathic communication. Doesn't happen all the time, but there are cases of it. The being told him that he and his kind were from a parallel world. In ancient times, they used to live together with humans until the humans began killing and hunting them. Then they moved into a parallel world. They had a type of government in their world. I want to see a Bigfoot government. Don't you want to see what a Bigfoot government looks like? What are the minutes of those meetings? I want to know. I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Their government reportedly prohibits them entering into closer communications with humans. So when they meet a human, they usually just run away or avoid them. So yeah, very interesting, very interesting. I used to think Bigfoot was pretty silly until I did the research, and the research is pretty solid. There's Bigfoot. I mean, it's not some lost primate like a lot of people think. It's not just some animal. That wouldn't even make sense. There's no bodies. There's no fossil record. So there's something a little bit more anomalous. I think they're probably hybrids created by the beings, much in the way the Nazca mummies are, or seem to be. For some purpose, this being is telling people that They avoid humanity because humanity used to hunt them. Totally possible. Totally possible. Of course, I've heard Bigfoot tell different people different things. You know, the beings tell different people different things at different times. And I guess Bigfoot rolls the same way. One interesting version of events I heard was that Bigfoot was created by the beings, basically as a backup for humanity, or to, let me say it right. When humanity wipes itself out, they will, come out of the woods and they will inherit the earth, much in the same way that hybrids are sometimes thought, human-looking hybrids are said to, sort of the same function. Interesting. And the idea also was that they might collect some survivors of humanity and teach them how to survive, after the apocalypse. So, could those two ideas go together? Could they be from a parallel universe or a parallel reality, or have migrated to a parallel reality after humans hunted them? But they were created by the beings, and they do fulfill this purpose. Totally possible that the two accounts could go together, or maybe neither one of them is true. Who knows, but it's definitely interesting food for thought. Bigfoot is out there, guys. Bigfoot is out there, and he can communicate telepathically. What is his real story? I don't know, but if you do, let me know in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Also, channel members frequently get to see videos hours ahead of everybody else. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.